currently 3:05. I'm trying to leave by 3:40 because I have work at 4. I'm extremely bad at intros. I fell off my scooter the other day and it left me this beautiful mark, so we need to cover that up because I look absolutely crazy. Nobody talks about how depressing college is. I recently just turned 20 last month. Starting to realize I'm not sure if it's just becoming an adult or if I'm not sure if it's just becoming a college student. Life has been throwing lessons at me left and right. I'm from Miami, Florida. I recently moved here in August to start school at Louisiana State University. I was born in Haiti, but I was raised in Miami my whole life up until I left. So I've been used to a pretty big town with big opportunities and stuff to always do. I actually graduated in 2023, but I took a gap year. I just wanted to take a break because I've been going to school for 12 years. Like, yeah, girl needs a little bit of a break. And I also wanted to start a business, so I used that year to save up. I also wanted to go somewhere different because if you know Miami's a big town, and I'm the type of person, if I get too comfortable, I'm gonna want to leave. I was already used to Miami. I was already used to a big town, so it's not that I wanted to go to a smaller town, but where else a little bit more different. And Baton Rouge, I guess, was kind of that because it is a small town, but it is a college town, so it kind of makes up for it. There's not really much to do here, I'll say, but the college activities sort of makes up for it, so I was down. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love LSU. Throughout this whole video you would think I'm bashing LSU, but no, I actually love LSU. I love my college. It's so much fun. It's actually made things a little bit better. And mind you, it was definitely a change because coming from a big town to a small town, honestly, I don't even think it's the town. It may be the town just a little bit, but it's not really the town. First few weeks I was definitely having fun. I think I went to one football game. What nobody talks about is in college you're definitely gonna make friends, but just such a big pool. Like, there's so many different people, there's so many different groups. You're bound to make a friend. It's not 100% guaranteed that you're gonna make the right friend. When I first got here, welcome week, girl, I was grabbing everybody's number, everybody's Instagram. We were texting for a couple of days. Basically never hear from half those people again. The people that you might even become friends with, sometimes that might not even last 2 weeks, maybe a month. I made like a good 3 real friends. And we are now in November and I honestly don't talk to either of those people. I think that is because you also have to give it time to get to know people, and sometimes people just aren't for you. I thought we were gonna do great, get along, and then eventually you start seeing how people move and how they are. Just like, hold up, I don't know if this is gonna work. Unfortunately, it is kind of sad. Like, some people have luck and they make friends right away and they connect with them and they're friends for 10 years. But in reality, sometimes that's just not how some people are just in your life for a season. That's perfectly fine. But it does get kind of frustrating when you build a connection with that person and sometimes it just eventually falls off. I personally was born with Caribbean parents. I'm not sure if this is typical, but for me, I was raised to be very, very independent. I would say I started just getting my independence from 16 years old because that's just how I grew up. Most things that a young adult wouldn't know, like, until later, I know now. At the time when I do meet people, especially my age, oftentimes, it's not that I can't relate to them, but it seems like I'm talking to somebody the other day, telling them how I feel, and they did tell me something that actually made a lot of sense. A lot of the time when people come to college, especially freshmen, this is the first time in their lives they're on their own. Like, people are sheltered by their parents, and I didn't really realize that because I wasn't really sheltered by my parents. I did have some friends back home who weren't sheltered by their parents, and I already knew that, but when I came to college, it just seems like almost everybody is like that. And that's perfectly fine. Everybody is brought up a different way. But me mentally being a lot older than what I am, I just do feel like a lot of the people that I meet just aren't at the mindset that I am. That doesn't mean that we can't be friends, but I just feel like sometimes you're not going to be able to connect with certain people. I'm not saying this to make it seem like I'm better than anybody or anything like that. I feel like connecting with people that you become friends with is so strategically important. Especially, like I said earlier, a lot of people become friends with certain people and they don't find out how they are later on down the line. That's perfectly fine. Like, you have to learn lessons, but I'm the type of person, I like to already kind of see how you are. So a lot of people that I'm meeting, it's like we'll have a good conversation and it'll be going well, and it's like I just don't feel a connection. Some people that I've met and I just genuinely don't feel a connection with them. I'm not a fake person. If there's nothing there, I just feel like I'm not gonna waste either of our times. Clearly developing with somebody takes time, but I just feel like there are maybe like 2-3 people that I've met that I click with them right away, and people I just don't get that feeling with. I remember like the first few weeks that I got here, I would meet people, you know, we would text, we would hang out here and there. Days would pass, not even a week, like days would pass. I would get a text or a call from them and they'll be like, hey, are you okay? What's happening? I would just be confused and I'll just be like, what do you mean what's happening? Like, especially if I just saw them literally a couple of days ago or something, be genuinely confused. They'll be like, oh, I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm such a low maintenance friend. Like, we do not need to text every single day. I could genuinely not talk to you for a while and we'll literally, like, me and my best friend have been best friends since we were like 10 years old. We can literally probably go months. Months is probably dragging it, but yeah, we could probably go months without talking and we'll still be perfectly fine type of friend. Like, we don't need to be all up on each other. I just feel like, especially as you're getting older, so I would respond to specific people, and I really do mean people. Like, this wouldn't just be one person, this would legit be like 4 or 5 people, and it would just creep me out because I feel like I would be talking to the same person because they're literally reciprocating the same energy. I would just respond and be like, yeah, I'm chilling, and it'll be like, oh, I just haven't heard from you. That had me realizing a lot of people, I even had like 2 people get mad at me, not really mad, but they would kind of like say something like, hey, like, we haven't talked for a couple days and I find that weird, and I'm just like, throw me off guard because I'm just not used to that. I'm just used to like everybody having their own space and still being like together. So I'm a really low maintenance friend. Like, that would have me questioning myself. Like, am I the problem? Like, am I weird? Like, is how a normal human being supposed to act? Times where I'll be talking to somebody and something will happen or somebody will say something, and such a low maintenance person, it's like, really do not bother me. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I genuinely don't really get bothered by a lot of things. And sometimes things would happen or things would be said and I would just be chilling. Somebody would be like, would make it into like such a big deal, and I'll be like, and things like that would have me questioning myself, and certain things would have me questioning myself, like, oh, did I say something wrong? Did I not react a certain way? I feel like if you have me questioning myself as a person, and that goes for relationships and friendships. A lot of people think when it comes to talking about these things, it's really towards relationships. Like, no, I feel like friendships are just as equal, or if not even like more than relationship. I feel like it's conversations that you need to have. Questioning myself, I feel like it's not that you're not my person, but you're not my person. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. I don't know. So I guess you could say in college I've had a hard time connecting with people because I just don't connect with a lot of people. And like I said, like, I've definitely made some friends to where we literally like, we're on the same page, and I'm grateful for that. But I feel like sometimes when you look around and you see other people making like 10 friends, 15 friends their first week or something, you're like, oh my gosh, I want something like that. But then you have to be realistic. Like, sometimes those people aren't gonna be friends. Sometimes people aren't gonna be friends for that long. Are those relationships really gonna last? Do you rather have a group of 15 friends, or do you rather have true friendships that's actually gonna evolve you as a person? And nobody talks about the fakeness. Oh my gosh, genuinely in the real world, you're gonna run into fake people, but I don't know what it is. I think in college, you're just transitioning from one world to another, seeing all these different people from everywhere. Like, you could genuinely do that if you go to a bar, if you go to a concert, you're gonna run into different people. In college, I don't know what it is. College, you're put into this perspective. It's like you're actually meeting these different kinds of people. I remember my first week, I met 2 people. A couple months in, it's like I would find out some things that they did, or like things that, or just the way that they are, and I would just genuinely be shocked. Already developing this mindset on this specific person, so when you find out these things, you're just like, and it kind of makes you disappointed because it's like, dang, like, I thought I found like a good, genuine person that could particularly be in my life, and find out some things about them, and it's like, and that's okay. I think that's what a lot of people need to realize. It is okay to not connect with everybody. Like, you're gonna fall out with people, whether it's in a good way or a bad thing. People just genuinely aren't for you. I feel like a lot of people feel like it has to be that way. I definitely know the first week I was trying to get out here, I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to make this friend, but you have to come to a reality where it's just like, girl, you can't be friends with everybody, and not everybody gonna be your friend. Especially started talking to like upperclassmen to ask them like, hey, was it hard for you to do this? Was it hard for you to make this friend? Some people genuinely told me that they do not make their real friends until like 2-3 years into college, because you're going through so many different relationships. It's genuinely crazy. And you just have to find the people that are for you. I spent like 20 minutes talking about that one topic, and I literally need to leave in the next 10 minutes. I feel like being brought up in Miami, I was born into the hustling culture. Like, I always had me a job. I was always finding a way for me to make money. Whether it's finding a job to make money, whether it's joining a sport to keep me busy, whether it's joining clubs, I was always brought into the hustle culture. Try to know, I'm gonna make being from Miami my whole personality. I'm gonna tell you I'm from Miami 10,000 times. I rep my city. I think I don't like Miami because I left, or I would be like, I want to leave so bad. Definitely not that. I love my city. I just needed to go somewhere else. else. Really big on change and going different places. I was always on my feet. I was always doing something, especially during my gap year. I got a full-time job. I was hustling. I was doing so much. And once I transitioned here, babe, all you do is really go to school and go to class. Now, of course, you join clubs. You could get a job. You could do this. But at the time, I know when I first started, I didn't have a job at least. Clubs, and I'm still in a bunch of clubs. But I would wake up, go to class, go to any meetings, go to the gym, and I would come back and there will still literally be like 7 hours left in the day. And I'm just like, what do I do now? Genuinely have nothing to do, and I would lay in bed for days, guys, days. This was happening for like a good 2-3 weeks, so where I was just going to class, getting in bed, going to class, getting in bed. It wasn't enough for me. Like, maybe that's enough for some people, but me, especially if you have a lot of classes, and I had 5 classes, and that definitely might be a lot for some people, but for me, that just wasn't enough. That was making me lazy. I know it sounds crazy. Going to class is making you lazy. No. Because I would just come, go to class, do my assignments, and jump back into the bed and have nothing to do. That was honestly light work for me. It also puts you in a depressing mode because you're laying in bed all day. It wasn't enough for me, and it was just making me lazy. And I wouldn't say I was getting depressed, but if I continued, and I was just like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. Got like an additional 3 jobs. 3 is kind of crazy, I know, but like I said, I just wasn't comfortable in what my daily routine was. I just needed something to keep me on my feet. This isn't really something that I relate to, but I've seen it all over my For You page when I see people talk about college. Just leaving your people behind. I've seen a lot of people just genuinely become sad because they're not having the support system that they usually have or right in their house in the next room. Friends that you grew up with, they're no longer on the corner. Your parents are literally through a screen. Even transitioning into college, whether you're making a lot of friends or whether you're making no friends, those people that you've been with have been in your life for years. Like, they know you, they know your routine, they know how to make you happy, they know how to do this. These new people might not be able to do that, so it kind of is a struggle just transitioning and missing back home. Think about me, I literally be out of here every single weekend. I literally text my friends and I'll be like, you guys want to go to New York tomorrow? And they'll be like, yeah. So, but some do need their support system and their people. I have it, but there's gonna be times in life where you just need to be alone. I do a lot of things alone, and a lot of people question it. They're like, are you okay? But yes, I think being alone is so important. Like, come in this world alone and you leave alone. Unfortunately, that's just how it is, and you need to learn to not be dependent of other people, if that makes sense. It could definitely be lonely though, because a lot of people also say, oh, go to college, like you have parties, you have this, you're gonna meet new people, but some people just genuinely isn't interested in that. Yeah, I do not like partying. I know a lot of people say that, but I genuinely do not like partying. Like, I do not. Babes, back in Miami, girls don't have to pay, and I came here, every single party you have to pay, and that genuinely hurt my heart because I'm like, what do you mean I have to pay? The first month out here, I spent like $100 on like party entries, and I would just be in the parties and I'll be like, I just don't feel like being here. I want to go in my bed. Even you joining clubs, going to parties, doing all this stuff, sometimes that still doesn't satisfy you, and sometimes it just doesn't make you feel any better. You just want to go back to your daily routine, doing this, doing that, and a lot of people just don't understand that, and most people are never going to be in your shoes, so they just won't understand. I definitely love LSU. Like, I am obsessed with my school. There are times where I'm feeling like this, and then like there'll be a football game coming up, or they'll have this event coming up, and that does make me excited, but after that, you're back to your normal routine with just going to class and doing this. I personally major in sports administration and marketing, and I reach out to professionals all the time on LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever I see. Like, one thing about me, I'm a connect. Like, but I also have always had this entrepreneur mindset. I sound like the typical Gen Z, or yeah, I don't want to go to college, I just want to start my business. That's honestly like how I feel sometimes. I started my first business when I was 18, even enter college before starting that. A lot of things like you just learn in the outside world. Now, if you're gonna be a nurse and engineering, stuff like that, I definitely see why it's needed, but certain things, do I really need to be here? And I do question myself a lot because I reach out to people all the time that work in my industry, especially in marketing. Marketing, you don't even need a degree for real. You do know what you want to do. I want to do this, I want to do that. Sometimes I'll have you questioning, do I even need to be in college for this? People don't even know what they want to do until like their 3rd, 4th year of school. Do ya? Even though you're doing prereqs, mandatory for any degrees, if you don't know what you want to do, sometimes you're gonna feel like you're wasting your time. You don't even know what you want to do. Marketing is more of an industry when it comes to experience. It also sucks being in a small town because there's not really much networking and there's not many places to be. LSU has like the biggest networking, so when it comes to my career, I have been put in so many rooms and I've only been here for 4 months. Honestly, will say that is worth it. I would never bash LSU for that. Like, they do an amazing job. job. Trying to get experience is kind of like nearly impossible, especially when most programs they want you to be like a junior or a senior when it comes to internship, job entry jobs. Just getting any sort of experience, they kind of like push you to the side, because when I tell you, I've emailed every department in LSU when it comes to sports, like everything, basically been getting told no. And it sucks because you want to start putting stuff on your resume, you want to start getting experience. So when you're getting a whole bunch of no's, that does you, and it kind of makes you think, do I even need to be here? Like, why am I here if I can't even start working on my degree? Because all you have here is just school. Like, that's like the biggest thing in Baton Rouge was LSU. After that, babes, there's really nothing else here. So it kind of makes it a little bit harder for me. Sometimes you do feel the pressure. Like, you've worked so hard to get here. You have your parents rooting for you. You have your friends rooting for you. You're rooting for yourself. You're in this space where it's like, I don't know what I want to do, or I don't know if I'm happy, I don't know what I'm doing. Change is good, so I never encourage people to go back to your old life, but I don't think I will ever drop out of college. Like, when I was in my gap year, I did online school, and when I tell you it was the best thing, because I was still able to work towards my degree, but I was still on my feet doing what I needed to do. Online school is actually a pending option for me, but I keep telling myself to hold on tight because I'm living my dream right now. I'm never gonna be able to look back and say, oh, I didn't go to my dream school, I didn't work as hard, I didn't do what I needed to do, I didn't have the fun I'm gonna have because I'm so young. I'm not gonna like, but a lot of the times it's just like, I don't know. Just like, do I even care about that? When you hear it from so many people, whether it's your parents or just a stranger, enjoy college, enjoy while you're young, do this, and 100% enjoy while you're young. Like, because you don't want to look back and say, oh my gosh, I was never able to do this. You don't want to do that. But I had to leave early because I was gonna be late, but we're in the parking lot, so we should be good. I have another 5 minutes. The video was already like 35 minutes long, so I really need to be closing. I just wanted to make this video to remind the girlies that if you're feeling like this, you're not alone. This video, because surprisingly on my TikTok For You page, I just kept seeing a whole bunch of people post this, how lonely they feel in college. Not the same way, so I just decided to bring it all over to YouTube. I did make a video ranting on my TikTok about it, but I wanted to make one on here. If you are in this predicament in college and you feel like you're alone and nothing's going right, or you're not making friends, or you're just not having fun, or you just don't feel like you're in the right headspace, just know that you're not alone. Like, everybody goes through it. I'm going through it. I know sometimes it's frustrating because every single time you talk to somebody about it, especially me, sometimes you go talk to people and they're like, oh, it will get better. I do think you need to give it time. I'm definitely gonna give myself time because it's only been a few months. You're supposed to be in college for 4 years. Give it time, but also if you honestly don't feel like you know where you are or what you want to do if you're comfortable, then maybe just take a break. I'm not saying to drop out. Please don't drop out of college. If not for you, then it's not for you, and I 100% support that. This one girl, and she literally feels exactly how I felt, and she's already taking the spring semester off. We're just freshmen. We just got in, but she said she genuinely just doesn't know where her head is at. She's a big advocate for taking a break, whether it's from work, whether it's just from life. Like, yeah, life keeps going, but sometimes you just genuinely need a break. Whether if you want to take a semester off, whether if you just don't want to go to class for a couple days and go somewhere else for the weekend, like, just take a break. The college is still going to be there when you come back. And I think that's one thing I will say about college, the fact that you can just take your time. High school, you can't do that. Certain things you can't do that. But with college, it'll always be there. Like, then people want their money. These institutions want their money. They're not going anywhere. You're not alone. I do think everything in life is gonna come together the way that it's supposed to be meant. Feeling like this, definitely leave a comment down below because I know a lot of people tend to feel this way, and connecting with other people who feel the same way might help you feel a little bit better. I don't even know if anybody's gonna see this video, but just know you're not alone. I know that sounds so cliche. I feel like everybody says that. Life just always ends up working out. That's all I know.